And that's a beautiful tone coming from that guitar. Hey guys, it is Rumblin' Man coming to you today from Florida. I hope everybody out there is doing great. I actually have an electric guitar review today. We're going to be taking a look at the SX Furion SSS for single coil guitar with the rosewood fretboard. And very beautiful, exquisite release by SX. I know that this model has been around for a while and has seen some changes over the years as well, but it's definitely a beautiful work of art. Now, I know that SX has gone through a few different headstocks, and this headstock was one that they were doing for a while. But as far as I know, that this is a very new guitar. This finish is their powder blue finish, which is very beautiful. Looks almost like a cross between Sonic Blue and Surf Green or something like that. It's a very nice finish of a guitar. This particular model, it looks like it does have a couple cosmetic scratches. Not sure what that's about. But it probably happened post-production, or it could have come as B stock. But nonetheless, a very cool guitar indeed. If you go way back in my channel, you can see my reviews of SX guitars and basses dating back to 2015, 2013. I mean, I've been checking out these instruments for a long time, and actually, really, I got into them right after I started the Rumblin' Man YouTube channel years ago. And over the course of time, I've owned several SX instruments. I've tried out and played several SX instruments. I've ordered some for my church. I've done a lot of stuff involving SX instruments because I really do like them. And I've actually got a whole playlist right here on YouTube of videos I've made reviewing and demoing the SX instruments. And you can check out a link to that right here, where you can go to that playlist and you can see all the different videos I've done of SX instruments through the years. Very cool stuff. This is really neat because this is the second Furion I've ever reviewed. Now, a Furion, I'm just going to go on and resort to name calling, and I'm going to throw a word out there that no one wants me to say. Telecaster. I said it. I said Telecaster. Okay, it's a Furion, but let's face it, we all know what famous Fender style, or really originated by Fender guitar, this is kind of a copy of, and that would be a Telecaster. So if the SX, the title of the instrument, if it says Furion, then it's some kind of Telecaster model. So I've reviewed one that was kind of a 72 Tele Deluxe guitar, and then this one is actually what they would call a Nashville style Tele. Now, if someone says that a Tele is a Nashville style Tele, what they mean is that it has 3 single coil pickups on it. Whereas most Telecasters have 2 pickups. Most Teles, standard Teles, they will have this hot Telecaster single coil bridge pickup, and they will have 1 mini single coil neck pickup. And between those 2 pickups, you get a lot of functionality, you get a lot of versatility. And there are other configurations out there, but the standard Telecaster setup is those 2 pickups. In this particular case, what the maker of the guitar does is they throw in a middle pickup, and the pickup in the middle position is a Stratocaster pickup. So a Stratocaster, in fact, you can see one behind me on the wall. This is actually an SX 51 guitar, which is a Strat style guitar from SX. And you can see it's 3 single coil pickups. So Stratocasters, in case you don't already know, will generally have, and there are other configurations as well, but they will generally have 3 single coil pickups and a 5-way switcher to where you can switch between the bridge, and then the bridge and the middle, and then the middle, and then the middle and the neck, and then the neck. That is a standard Stratocaster setup. So what they do with this is, a lot of guys who play Teles, myself included, because I'm primarily a Telecaster player, a lot of times we'll often wish that we had the kind of chimey sound that you can get from a Stratocaster by accessing the bridge and middle pickup together, or the neck and middle pickup together. However, a Strat and a Tele are very different because the neck pickup of a Stratocaster is different, and the bridge pickup, though similar, is different as well. Teles seem to be a little more hot, a little more punchy, and a little more trebly in the bridge position. So it's like if you want to play a Telecaster, but you want to throw in that chime, the ability to have that chime that a Strat has by accessing the middle pickup, then a Nashville-style Tele is right for you. And in that case, SX is offering, to contribute to that type of model, is the Furrian SSS for single coil, single coil, single coil. Now, the model that Fender makes at this guitar is very similar to is the Deluxe Nashville Tele. And Fender makes one in a light blue color as well. I think theirs is more of a Daphne blue or something, but don't quote me on that. And then SX makes this offering in a powder blue. I want to give a shout out, a personal shout out to my buddy Jeff, who's right here in Florida. This is Jeff's guitar. He is very kind to sometimes sell me guitars and sometimes loan me guitars for review, and he's done a lot of work for me over the last couple of years. So Jeff, thank you for lending this Tele for me to review here today on the Rumblin' Man channel. I hope to do it justice. When I first went to Jeff's place yesterday and checked out this guitar, I was immediately blown away. He had this Tele sitting there, and then he also had a G&L Tele sitting there. And I picked them both up and played them both a little bit, and after I did, I said, Jeff, tell me, which one do you think I liked better? And he said, well, you probably liked the one that was designed by Leo Fender. And I said, actually, I liked the SX better. Cosmetically speaking, this is a beautiful guitar. The body, the paint job is really nice. I mean, really a beautiful paint job. Just looking down at a bird's eye glance here of the pickups, I could probably actually tell before even plugging this in that these are cheaper pickups just by the looks of them. But seriously, a beautiful Telecaster style guitar, Furion. The neck, so by the way, I forgot to mention that this is an Alder body, an American Alder body, which is very nice. And then the neck is going to be a Canadian maple neck. So a lot of the woods are from right here in good old North America, for those of you guys who are from the US or Mexico or Canada. But the back of the neck is probably the thing about the guitar I like most. For one thing, I like the neck profile. And I had read a review online in which a guy had the same model but said that it was kind of a chunky neck. But this is not a chunky neck. I mean, I have a few guitars, and I would not consider this a chunky neck. But it is more of a Tele-style neck than a Strat. But what I really love is, I just love this neck. The rosewood fretboard is really, really nice. I know that Jeff has probably done a full setup on this, but when I run my fingers across, you know, I barely feel any frets at all. It's not gonna... There's not a ledge that's going to cut you. And then I love the back of the neck. To me, when I'm selecting a guitar or a bass guitar, one of the things that I take into consideration the most is the finish on the back of the neck. And this is a very nice kind of amber vintage tinted gloss. And I like gloss. It's a really cool and beautiful guitar, but there are some cons too. There are also some things about it that I'm not crazy about. So stick around to the end of the video, because toward the end of the video I'm going to tell you a list of 3 pros and 3 cons so that I can share what I don't like about the guitar as well. However, right now I know that you want to hear some demos, so let's go on and do this thing. Teles are great rock machines. A lot of people think of them as country machines, but to me that bridge pickup is a rock machine. So Rumblin' Man, can it rock, you may say? Well, let's do a rock demo with some overdrive, mostly bridge pickup, and I'm going to play this thing. I'm going to really crank it up in this demo, and let's listen to how it sounds in a rock context and if it can get some of that really nice 90s rock overdrive. Very cool, and that was all bridge pickup. But you may say, well, Rumblin' Man, how does the bridge pickup of this Tele stack up against the bridge pickup of a Fender Tele? Well, we're going to find out right now, because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply do a comparison test of two guitars. I'm going to play this guitar on its bridge pickup a bit, and I'm going to pick up my Fender American Telecaster and play it on its bridge pickup a bit, and we can kind of compare and contrast and see what kind of difference we can hear between the two. So very nice. I feel like I personally prefer the Fender a little more. I don't know, this one really has a nice bridge pickup, rockin' sound. I really like the bridge pickup on this. It seems like the Fender has a little more crunch to it, but that's probably going to be because I've probably got the pickup height a little further up on the Fender, so it's going to crunch a little more, but it definitely has more clarity and dynamic ranges to it. There's a little less mud in the Fender, if you ask me. Likewise, you're going to want to hear a little bit of the neck pickup of this guitar. So what would some blues sound like? Well, I'm not a great blues player, but I want to do kind of a blues style demo. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to lay down kind of a rhythm track with this Tele. And on the rhythm track, I'm going to play on the neck and middle pickups, play some chords in the key of E. And then on the lead track, I'm going to come along and with just the neck pickup, I'm going to play my take on some bluesy leads. And let's see how this guitar could sound for blues, because I'm telling you, Teles are underestimated when it comes to blues guitar. Very cool. So obviously really a nice neck pickup sound. I'm a big fan of the Telecaster mini split coil pickup sound. I mean, I like all kinds of neck pickups, and it'd be hard to pick a favorite, but really love how that sounds. But how does it stack up to Fender? Maybe a Fender Telecaster. How would it stack up to the neck pickup of a Fender Tele? Well, I'm going to pull out my American Fender again, and let's hear them both one by one, the SX and the Fender, the SX, then the Fender, the SX and the Fender like we did before, and let's see what kind of differences our ears can pick up between the two. So again, my comments about the Fender are, I think the Fender is going to have a little more crunch to it, but that's probably largely in part by the fact that I've got my pickup height set a lot higher on the Fender. One thing I can say in this particular demo is I don't dislike the neck pickup sound of the SX, but I can say in this demo, you can definitely hear that there is a clearer high range, a clearer treble and high mid-range in Fender's pickup. You can tell that there's definitely a difference, definitely less mud. So in this particular case, I kind of like the Fender pickup better. But obviously with this being a 5-way switcher, 3-pickup Telecaster, the bridge and neck pickups are not the only pickups on this guitar. So real quick, what I want to do is I'm going to play a little bit in each pickup position so you can hear how they each sound. Maybe I'll do a little rhythm and a little more lead kind of playing. And we will start back here at the bridge pickup, and then we'll just walk through the 5 settings. Bridge, and then bridge to middle, then middle to neck, and then neck. And you know, the EQs that I've got, I'm using the Line 6 HX Stomp today. A couple of my signature patches are the main ones I'm using. EQs might not be exactly flat, but it's at least close enough to where you can hear what I think this is gonna sound like for you. So let's take a listen. But before I rant on the pros and cons, let's listen a little more. I play guitar in church. I play modern worship electric guitar and love it very much. Use my Telecaster a ton. So real quick, using my signature patch for the Line 6 HX Stomp, which you can grab this particular patch in the description of this video for really cheap, only about like $3.50 if you like how it sounds and want to try using it for yourself. But using my Sky City patch on the HX Stomp, I'm going to play this guitar and I just want to try some ambient sounds, mostly on the neckward pickups here, and just play with a little ambience. I will do some lead, you know, with the bridge pickup, and just kind of hear, you know, if you're a worship player, if you play guitar in church, and you're going to be doing some ambient swells and things like that, what kind of sounds can you expect from this guitar? Well, let's take a listen real quick and see. But yes, to me, there are pros and cons, okay? Con number one. Con number one, inconsistency in the sound. I don't know if you noticed it just a moment ago when we went through the various pickup sounds. For some reason, very much unlike this SX Strat style guitar on my wall, for some reason when you get to position 2, it wimps out. I don't know what the deal is. Position 1, just the bridge pickup, it sounds great, sounds hot, sounds nice, got a great balance to it. Then you get to position 2 and it almost sounds like it went out of phase or something. Like it totally loses the low end and it loses volume. It dives. So in the position between bridge and middle on this particular guitar, I can't really get a cool Strat tone right there like I would imagine getting. It totally wimps out. Gets real quiet and tinny, thin sounding, and then you go to position 3 to the middle pickup and it's back up and it sounds normal again. Except the middle pickup to me is darker than it should be on this guitar. So con number one for me is going to be the unbalance in the sound. But real quick, I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to plug up again, and I'm going to play on the bridge pickup a little bit. Then let's listen again. I'm going to go to position 2, and we're going to hear kind of how it wimps out, and then how kind of all is normal again when you go to channel 3. Let's check it out. That inconsistency in the sound is enough for me to not play this guitar. And it's a beautiful instrument. I love this thing. I like it. I could play it for hours at a time, and I have been today. I will say this, however, I don't know if that necessarily represents every guitar in this model, because I looked around online and I didn't hear anyone else. I heard some say that they weren't crazy about the pickups, but I didn't hear anyone else so far mention the same issue. So it could just be this particular guitar. They got it wrong, but I will say this based on my experience with SX. While cosmetically, in terms of playability and feel, I don't know how they make such nice guitars for the price point. One corner that they cut is in the electronics. On multiple SX instruments, I have had electronics just go wrong, cheap wiring, things like that. So be aware that if you're going to get this guitar or any other SX guitar, you could come to a point at which you need to get some electric work done. Con number 2 is sound quality, the pickups. I'm really not blown away either. In fact, a little while ago, during the blues demo, at first I had the tone rolled off to about an 8, and then I rolled it up to a 10 and played. But the thing is, when it goes from 8 to 10, it's like a night and day difference. The tone doesn't roll off evenly. To me, the neck pickup sounds dark and muddy. Sounds like you can get some cool leads, but rhythm and chords not so much. And to me, the middle pickup is too muddy. I like the bridge pickup, but I'm really not digging the stock pickups in this guitar. That said, if you get one of these, you can upgrade the pickups. You can order Fender's pickups that they use in their renditions of the Nashville Telecaster, or you can go with Porter or any other brand out there, to order some new pickups and install them yourself, or have someone else install them if you're not up for doing that work yourself. It's really not the hardest thing in the world to do. So though I'm not digging the sound quality of these pickups, there are solutions to that out there. And really, if you're going to get an SX, it should be, kind of a purchase in which you're thinking of using it as a project guitar to make upgrades to in the future anyway. Con number 3 is that the tuning stability does kind of vary. Now, I've reviewed a lot of guitars on my channel in which the tuning stability varied hardcore, and some of them were even Fenders. And one thing I've learned over the years is I haven't owned an electric guitar that just perfectly stayed in tune all the time. That said, when I first picked this up, I thought, man, this holds tune really good, because it does hold tune a lot better than other SXs I've used and even some Fenders that I've used. However, in the making of this video today, I did have to tune a number of times, and in a couple of the demos and illustrations that I used, I didn't even tune, and you can kind of hear that it's off a little bit. So tuning stability, what can affect that? about a million things. One thing I would be aware of with SXs when you get one is this. In my opinion, they do hold tune better than some of the Squires and other things out there for affordable reasons, but be prepared to do a little setup work on it, or to have a friend or someone who knows how, if you don't know how, to have someone else do a little setup work on it, so that you can get it in shape to play in tune and have a great experience. Now for the pros, okay? 3 pros. Number 1, like we mentioned a second ago, it's a great platform for upgrades, okay? If you want to get a project guitar, get a guitar that's fairly affordable that you can make your own upgrades on, put your own bridge on it and your own tuners and your own pickups, things like that. This is an excellent modding platform. To me, this guitar is very nicely put together, very nicely built. I love the wood. I love the finish. It's an absolute pleasure to play. It feels great. It feels like a nice Fender, even maybe like a, based on feeling. If you put this in my hands and told me it was a custom shop Fender, I'd probably believe you. So it's really nice modding platform if you're looking for a guitar to make upgrades to for your own use. Pro number 2 is obviously going to be the looks. I mean, am I going to look stupid on stage with a powder blue Nashville style Tele? Doubt it, okay? This is a beautiful instrument. Check that out. And pro number 3 is obviously going to be the price point. I mean, this is less than $200, and it's shipped to you, and you've got a really cool axe to play with and to expound upon. However, if you're pretty strapped and you're looking to outright buy something that's going to go on and do a great job for you, and you don't really have a lot of extra room financially, in that case, I wouldn't go with this, and the reason I wouldn't is simply based on my experience with the sound today and the inconsistencies therein. I would go with something that has, maybe get something used, like a used vintage modified Squire or something that has a better chance of good sound performance and playability, though the playability on this thing is absolutely awesome. You can hit me up on social media right here on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, but it all points right back here to the Rumblin' Man YouTube channel, where we take a look at gear and we take a look at in-depth tutorials to enhance what you do as a musician. So you definitely want to make sure you subscribe, share this channel with your friends if you liked it today, and hold on for more videos. We're going to look at more SX instruments, we're going to look at guitars, basses, all kinds of stuff, microphones, everything. It's going to be great, so make sure you're subscribed. As always, God bless you guys. Thanks so much for checking out this video today. Check out some of these other videos right here on YouTube, and I'll see you on the next rendition.